I'm going to start this one with a statement and just say that Legendary tier has been broken since it was introduced into this game. Now let me explain why. When Legendary tier was introduced, the highest tier in the game was tier 7, and tier 7 could be matched with legendary ships, and that meant that the tier 7 ships were hopelessly outclassed. So Wargaming have given us tier 8, so now tier 8 gets matched with legendary. It's a bit more balanced, but unfortunately the ability of newer players to acquire legendary ships means that we have players playing the very highest tiers who are, dare I say it, incapable. And I think that is one of the reasons why Legendary tier is such a dog's backside to play. Now there are 969 subscribers to this channel, which I'm very, very grateful for. So keep hitting that subscribe button to get us to the 1,000 while I play this game through in the legendary French destroyer, the Kleber. And we'll talk about legendary tier. Now I was having a look through the PlayStation trophies the other day, and the percentage of players of this game who have actually promoted a commander to legendary level 1 is very, very, very small. That means that we have people playing legendary tier ships that probably do not even have a legendary tier commander. Now I did a calculation today and I've got 67 commanders that are level 14 and above. Of those 67, 29 of them are level 15, at least legendary 2, and I think 27 of them are level 16 legendary 3. And 2 of them are level 16 legendary 4. So the ships that I play, the captains or the commanders and inspirations that I need to play my game, to give my ship the best buffs and skills that I can, I have those commanders promoted as high as I possibly can. Now I understand that it takes time to gather promotion resources, insignias, promotion orders, and commendations for promoting them all the way up to legendary 4 are hard to come by. It takes time. I have spent over 10,000 promotion orders. I've spent 158 insignias. I'd hate to think how many commendations I've used as well as duplicate captains. But to play my ships, I make sure that I have the right captains, that I have the inspirations that suit my playstyle to enhance those captains, and I will play my ship to the best of my abilities. I don't always play the best, I will say that now. I do have bad games like everybody else where I put a foot wrong or where I'm just completely overwhelmed by whatever is on red team and they play much better than the blue team. And this is going to turn into one of those games. I call them spud runs, and this is a spud run where I will make a mistake. I will definitely make a mistake, but at the same time I'm going to play as well as I possibly can. Now I always say to play the cap that you spawn on, and it looks like the majority of the team are doing this, apart from across at C cap where they seem to be hanging back or even pulling back. I've got 2 battleships with me on B. B cap is generally the cap that nobody wants to play, but they have been supporting me. They helped to take care of that Pommern, and it's obvious there is a destroyer on the cap now. So I am going to push in. I'm going to try and get it spotted, and I'm going to try and take this cap and either push back or kill this destroyer. So there he is. It's a Shimikaze. I'm going to get guns on. He's going to get guns on too. He knows he can't beat me in a gunfight. There are shells coming in from the battleships. That's really good to see. And thankfully, the Shimikaze disappears into a smoke screen, and I drop detection because there are, I think, 2 Schlieffens in this game, and one of them is out there. And now I understand what is happening on Charlie Cap. The ships out there on a blue team do not want to be near his secondaries. Schlieffen is... dare I say it, it's fun to play, but yes, it is potentially overpowered. Now I'm just spreading my torpedoes out because I'm sure that this Shimikaze wants to come in and get me spotted, and this is where, yeah, things get a little bit sticky because I'm looking for a way out of this cap if it should go wrong, and I'm creeping and crawling, and here come the Shimikaze torpedoes. Now I'm very, very lucky here in that the Kleber is quite agile, because that would have been curtains for me. And I do run off the cap here, which is unfortunate. Sorry, no, I run off the cap after taking it. I thought I'd run off the cap there before the timer had counted down. So I know the Shima is there. I know he's still interested in that capture point. But I am going to push round, and I'm thinking of coming round on a flank to try and catch this Shimikaze by surprise, because you will notice that I am not located, which means that there is a ship closer to him than me, or he is not running twist and track or perceptive, and that leads me to believe that he's running a full torpedo reload build. So I'm looking around at what targets are out there. I'm going to push through. I'm going to try and keep things spotted. C cap is basically being surrendered. A cap was taken by blue, but now they're having a hard time defending it from a red team. And whereas I thought that was a destroyer smokescreen there, it's not. It's the Minotaur, and he's coming out of it. So here is where I put a foot wrong, because I wasn't completely paying attention to what was going on around me, because I was expecting to get bumped by Shima. But we missed the Minotaur with torpedoes. He's got a very good turret traverse on him. And look at that, the Schlieffen secondaries, even though he doesn't even need to be looking at me from where he is, his guns start automatically firing, and that is something that I think needs to be changed. I think the secondary batteries should only fire at a target if it is marked as the priority target. But there's a Yamato there as well, so I'm going to play this middle ground and see what I can do, keep things spotted, and because I don't want to push back in, I'm going to try and keep my eyes peeled. There's some torpedoes from the Minotaur, and he is now going to run through for A cap. Now there is a Shimikaze out there, and I don't know what was going on, and I did get a little bit frustrated with his gameplay. There is a Schlieffen out there. I think he is going to pick up that Schlieffen as a kill. But I'm looking round. We've lost C cap totally, completely. Red team have pushed straight through with a battleship. The Yamato is there as well. The 2 battleships that were with me, I think one of them is dead, and the other one has pushed through the cap against the Yamato, and the Yamato kills him too. So it is literally a losing battle. Now my suggestion for fixing legendary tier, and I am going to suggest this to Wargaming, because it's hard to fix something once it is completely broken, and as I said, legendary tier was broken from the second it was introduced into the game. If you've got money, you can buy your way through a project. If you've got time, that's all it takes to get through a legendary project. You know, the majority of the projects, you don't even need to have tech tree ships. You can just let it tick and run very, very slowly, and you will eventually get a legendary tier ship. Bye bye, Yamato. So now that I've seen that the Minotaur has pushed through Alpha Cap, I am going to push into Alpha Cap and try and turn it, because we may be losing, but I'm thinking, can we take control of these caps? And I'm pinging that destroyer there to say run down, push for Charlie Cap, because that Minotaur is chasing him. All he has to do is keep kiting him away. And here comes one of the Shimikazes. Now, yes, he's got a wall of skill. I want this cap. I've got my reload booster running. These guns are very punchy, but I think the reload on these could do with a bit of a buff, because it is quite long. Let's keep hitting them. Let's take care of them. Now I'm expecting torpedoes. So we're going to have to turn away. The Minotaur's straight back onto me. There's something in Bravo Cap. I know it's not the Yamato. I know it's not the Minotaur. So could it be the other destroyer, or could it be the battleship? I don't know. So I'm swinging it around to get onto A Cap, and then we will try and go across there and see. But as I was saying, my suggestion for fixing legendary tier is to only allow players to take a legendary ship out if they have a commander that is level 16, legendary 1, but also that captain's inspirations are a minimum of level 11, legendary 1, because I think to play legendary you should have to have legendary. Now, a fully leveled commander with a legendary level of 1, I think is a fair thing to ask for. It's 153 promotion orders. It is 8 insignias and just one, either duplicate captain or universal commendation. Now, the inspirations, the reason I say they should be level 11 is because that is the minimum level you need to get 2 inspirations on a captain. And I think having 2 inspirations at 11-1 and a main captain at 16-1 should be the minimum requirement for playing legendary ships. Because we potentially have people out there who are sailing in legendary games who might have a level 7 commander with 1 inspiration, if that. Now, whether this is a suggestion that Wargaming would take on, yeah, that's a different matter. But I really do feel that legendary tier needs a rework. They have opened Pandora's box without really knowing what was inside it. And all the time that we have had legendary tier, the gameplay just fails to improve because more and more newer players are getting access to these ships and they just don't have the skill, the understanding, or the captains and inspirations to be making the most of their ship at this tier. So we've twonked that Minotaur with a torpedo. I think he's going to be coming across for this capture point. I see the Schlieffen. So what I'm going to do is turn back around and head back towards A Cap. But then I notice that the Minotaur appears to go away from me. This is another learning place for me. Because if I'd have been looking closer at that Minotaur, I would have noticed that he was going away from me. And so I've got no options but to try and get rid of him with some guns. Now the Schlieffen secondaries are going to have a pop at me, but that is kill number 4, which puts me above 150,000 damage, which I think is a reasonable amount of damage at this tier, but I say a game isn't all about damage. Torpedoes from the Minotaur, and here I'm going to make my third mistake of the game, and I'm going to cost myself a Kraken. That Shimikaze spunked all his torpedoes and completely missed that Schlieffen. And I'm thinking, have I got time to run in on this guy and got my torpedoes off? But look behind me on ACAP, it is turning red. That means that last destroyer is behind me. And had I pushed back onto ACAP and let this Shimikaze go and take care of this Schlieffen, we might have been able to pull a win. But the game is lost. We will do what we can. We pick up a high caliber. It's the final salvo, I think, there, yes, and the game ends. I really don't think that Legendary tier is going to improve. Certainly not when I play a game like that and it ends in defeat. 159,000 damage, 4 kills, high caliber, 2 solo caps, some cap defense, and I did have some support there at the beginning. But the thing that stings most about this game is when you see the base XP. That is 2,452 base XP, which is pretty much pushing a 3,700 base XP for a win. And when you look at Red Team and their wins, I beat everybody but that last Schlieffen, and he only beats me by a whisker. So it was a spud run. It absolutely sucked, but it is a learning experience, a little bit of show and tell for you guys, and proof that I am not infallible to making mistakes and losing games. I hope you've enjoyed watching and listening. Let me know what you think could be done to change the way that Legendary tier is played to make it better for those guys that have put the time and effort into playing this game and supporting it for a lot longer. Smash the like button, leave me a comment, let me know, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here, and please do tell your friends and get them to come along and hit the subscribe button too and help me reach that 1,000 subscribers. Until next time, take care and goodbye.